Hello, welcome to the Weber Dojo. Today we will focus on Sanbon Kumite, which is three-step sparring for our white, yellow, and orange belts. If you have not warmed up yet, please pause the video and do that now. I will work on the offensive techniques.
And then I'll take over and work on the defensive techniques. Then Sensei Kim and I will work together, showing both offensive and defensive techniques side by side, and then she will work with you virtually.
Okay, so when we're talking about the offensive side of three-step sparring, we want to focus on a few things. One of them being lateral movement, meaning that you're going to be stepping forward 3 times. So make sure that you have enough room where you're training today to move 3 steps forward, 3 of your stances forward. The next thing we're going to work on is distance, which is going to be difficult. So we're just going to use distance as meaning getting into your correct stance. So making sure that you're making an appropriate front stance every single time. So for three-step sparring, we only use front stance. And then we'll work on target. So make sure that your techniques are exactly where they need to be. So we start off three-step sparring by getting our distance with our partner to make sure that we can reach them when we make our front stance. So for that one, you put one hand out. You can touch their shoulder with your open hand or just reach your hand out and make sure that you're getting close enough to them. You want to bend your knees and make an appropriate down block and step back into Zenkutsudachi front stance. So you would announce the target, which is either Jodan or Chudan. So you would announce Oizuki Jodan for face level or Oizuki Chudan for stomach level. If you can't remember the Japanese terminology or you don't know that yet, you can just announce face or stomach. So then for the drill, I need to move back a little bit, hold on. So for the drill, you would make 3 steps forward. So make sure that when you step into your front stance, this front leg remains still. You don't want it wobbling side to side. And pretty much when you step through, this leg goes from being bent as you brush your knee to being straight, and then the punch comes directly out. So when you're punching to your target, for today, there's nobody in front of you. So you want to make sure that your fist is exactly level with their chin. And then when you're punching Chudan, you want to make sure that your fist is directly across from their solar plexus level. All right, so step back, make sure that your left side is forward. So step forward 3 times. Follow my count. Each, knee, and san. All right, stand up and go back. All right, let's try again. So you're going to get your distance. Hand comes up to your ear. Make sure that you're making a down block. You don't just bring your hand here, you make a correct ready position. Bend and step back. So step forward. I'm going to change my target this time. So I'm going to step in Oizuki Chudan and punch to the stomach. So brush your knees lightly, step forward, making sure that you're making a correct front stance. Your weight should be more on your front leg than your back leg. Knee and san. All right, stand back up and go back. This time, I want you to work on controlling your breathing. So as you get your distance here, make your down block, you should be breathing naturally. But when you attack, you want to make sure that you're exhaling. And this is going to help your technique. And then, of course, on the 3rd count, we make a ki. So let's practice that. I want you to announce Oizuki Jodan. All right, step forward, punching face. Follow my count. Each, breathe. Knee. Last one, ki. San. Up. And stand back up. And go back. Let's try it again. Attacking Chudan. So you're going to get your distance, get your ready position, bend your knees, step back. Always stepping back with your right side, always having your left side forward when we practice 3-step sparring. So step forward this time, Oizuki Chudan. So practice your target being correct, practice making sure you're staying down in your stance, moving straight laterally, so don't move off to this angle, then that angle. And work on your breathing, making sure that you ki on number 3. Ready? Each. Ni, San, hey, and stand back up. All right, one last time, we're going to work on the targets. I want you to move at your own count. So this gives us the opportunity to change the rhythm of your punches. I was counting it pretty static, meaning that I waited enough time in between each count, and it was standard throughout the attack. The attacker is the one that chooses the timing. Because I'm the one attacking, they're going to move when I punch. So you're going to want to change your timing. Here's the standard timing. So the standard timing, I'll count it out for you. Announce Oizuki Jodan. You move 1, then 2 close together. 1, 2. So that's the standard timing. You can mess it or change it. I don't want to say mess it. You can change it also if you want as you develop coordination in the technique. You can also change it to do the first 2 close together. So this time, announce Oizuki Chudan. So this time we're going to do the first 2 together quickly. Go, 1, 2. Pause. Now the third one. And stand up. Okay, so the first version is the standard timing, which is the way we're going to count it most often. All right, bow. Right, and relax. Okay, so I want to practice it in one more direction just so that you can see the techniques from a different perspective. So I'm going to start from over here. Come up and get my distance. Then step back, down block. Oizuki Jodan. Ich. Ni. San. Hey. And stand back up. So make sure that when you're transitioning from stance to stance, that your body isn't coming up and then going back down. So once you get in this position where you're making a front stance, you're at fundamental stance height, you want to try to keep your body moving the same. So if you have your belt on, you want your belt to move smoothly straight to the target for each time. Okay, so let's practice with Chudan. Okay, so step back. Oizuki Chudan. Ready? Ich. Ni. San. Hey. All right, and stand up. All right, bow.
So now we're going to work on the defensive portion of three-step sparring. As Sensei Kim mentioned in her portion, the offensive person, they set the timing. So on defense, we want to make sure that as that attack is coming, we're paying particular attention to the punch. We're going to drop and we're going to step back and block, being very conscientious of blocking wrist to wrist. As the second technique comes through, we're going to continue stepping backwards, blocking wrist to wrist. Third technique comes in, one more time, blocking wrist to wrist. Then we counterattack, whether it's going to be a punch or a kick. Either way, we want to make sure that our distance is proper. Punching, I want to make sure that we're touching the gi, not necessarily the person behind it, but making sure that your distance is appropriate. Kicking, you have to make sure that you're kicking on target as well, and that you're just making contact again with the gi, paying particular attention to your distance. So again, stepping back for Jodan, when they announce their target, we want to make some kind of acknowledgement. So we acknowledge Jodan or face, something of that nature. As they come through, again, dropping, block wrist to wrist, 1, 2, 3, throw the technique, and then standing up. Oftentimes, our distance is off, And I see some beginning students, they kick past their opponent, which obviously has no bearing on the technique because you've missed them. So make sure that you're making good distance and that your technique, whether it's punching or kicking, is on target. Coming from the side so that you can see from a different angle. As they're punching to the face, and drop, block wrist to wrist, block, block, throw your counter, and then standing up. Okay? Make sure on the counter techniques you're throwing a good ki. So the second portion of three-step sparring is when the attacker is punching to the stomach, Chudan level. So again, as the attacker is coming forward, you're going to drop, and then again, blocking wrist to wrist. Block wrist to wrist, block, and counter. Okay? Coming from a different angle, block, 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 and throw your counter. Okay, now we're going to put it all together. So as the offensive person comes in, we're going to throw our 3 blocks and then we're going to counter. It's up to you whether you want to punch or kick, but remember you have to do the opposite, or a different technique rather, when you're going to do the three-step sparring. So if you punch for Jodan, then you need to kick or throw a different technique for Chudan. Okay? So as the techniques are coming, acknowledge, Jodan. Ready? Ich. Ni. Ka. Hey! And then as we are blocking for Chudan, we acknowledge, Chudan. Ready? Ich. Ni. Ta. Ha! Okay, and then showing it from another angle. Jodan. Hey! And now we'll do Chudan. Chudan. Okay, now we'll invite Sensei Kim back and we'll demonstrate side by side.
Okay, now Sensei Weber and I are going to do Sanbon Kumite side by side. All right, let's bow. Okay, so for this part of the drill, you're going to follow him. You're going to do the defensive part of the technique. So I'm going to get my distance. I'm going to step back, make my down block, and announce Oizuki Jodan.
Hi, Jodan.
Okay, follow my count. Ich, ni, san, hey!
Hey! Okay, now you're going to follow Sensei Kim. You're going to be doing the offensive techniques. So move forward, get your distance, and announce your target.
Hey! Oizuki Jodan.
Hi, Jodan. Are you ready? Ich. Ni. Ta.
Hey!
Hey!
Okay, now we're going to do Chudan attacks. So you'll follow Sensei Jeff, you'll do defensive for this part of the drill. I'll get my distance, step away, hey! Announce my target, Oizuki Chudan.
Hi, Chudan.
Follow my count. Ich, ni, san, hey!
Ha! Okay, now you'll be doing the offensive techniques. So you'll follow Sensei Kim. Move forward, get your distance, and announce your target.
Hey! Oizuki Chudan!
Hey, shoot on. All right, ready? Ich. Nick. Ta.
Hey!
Sa.
Okay, we'll finish up with virtual three-step sparring. And Sensei Weber will coach us through.
All right, from this point, Sensei Kim will be attacking first. So move forward, get your distance, step back, and announce your target.
Hey! Oizuki Chudan!
Okay, defense acknowledge. All right, by my count. Ready? Ich. Ni. Ta. Yame. Okay, other side. Step back with your right leg, down block, and announce your target. Attack! Right, attacking by my count.
Chudan.
Ready? Ich. Ni. Ta. Yame. All right, Sensei Kim. Step back, acknowledge or announce your target.
Hey! Oizuki Chudan!
All right, other side, acknowledge. Ready? Ich. Ni. Ta. Yame. All right, other side. Get your distance for Chudan. Step back with your right side. Down block. Attack.
Chudan!
Ready? By my count. Stepping in. Ich. Ni. Ta. Yame. Right, now ready. And your.
Okay, thank you for working on three-step sparring with us. Make sure that when you're practicing at home that you're working on correct fundamental technique. The sparring drills will build upon each other. So for three-step sparring, you want to work on the fundamental technique, making sure that your stances are correct, your punches are to the correct target, and your blocks are correct.
All right, keep training, and we hope to see us all training together in the dojo soon.